Hello Booktube. Today I'm going to be doing the Nobel Prize in Literature tag. This tag was created by Ricardo Carrion, and I first saw it on Steve Donahue's channel, and I will leave links to both in the show notes down below. Prompt number 1. What do you like and dislike about the Nobel Prize in Literature? The thing I like about the Nobel Prize in Literature is that it celebrates writers who may not necessarily be household names. What I dislike about the Nobel Prize in Literature is that I think the expectations that surround it kind of put me off. This notion that it is the best of the best, which isn't necessarily true. It's, I think there's that. In a way, maybe the politics that surround it. Not necessarily in the 2021 style of politics, but the politics of literature. The politics of awards and that sort of thing, I think. I hope that makes any sense. Prompt number 2. Which Nobel Prize winner have you read the most books of? That would be Yasunari Kawabata. I've read 5 of his novels, I believe. Next up would be William Faulkner, and I think I've read 4 of his works, or 3 novels and some short fiction from him. But the winner is definitely Kawabata. Prompt number 3. Which authors do you think should have won the prize? Yukio Mishima of Japan. Before his death, I think he was heavily tipped several years to win it, and he never did, which is a shame. I'd also have liked to have seen Ursula K. Le Guin win. I think that would have been interesting, and I think in a way in keeping with Nobel's original intention for the prize. And maybe Tennessee Williams. I think it would have been very interesting if he had won as well. He is one of my favorite playwrights. And I think probably the best, 20th century American playwright, in my opinion. Prompt number 4. How many Renners have you read? Mention a book from each. So, I'm only going to go with the ones that I've read something by and not bailed on. Because I've bailed on about 5 or 6 of them, although I do plan on coming back to them. But I've read 25 of the winners. Something by them at least. Most of them have been poetry, so like William Butler Yeats, Rudyard Kipling, Rabindranath Tagore. I've read poetry by, so it's kind of hard to recommend something. Same is true of Seamus Heaney. I've only read, I think, maybe a poem of his or 2 in an anthology. Although I do intend on picking up one of his selected poetry collections in the not too distant future. But from like Rudyard Kipling, I would recommend The Man Who Would Be King, definitely. From John Steinbeck, I would recommend The Grapes of Wrath. From Wisława Szymborska, I would recommend A View with a Grain of Sand. From Harold Pinter, Dumbwaiter. From Nadine Gordimer, I would recommend The House Gun. Although I do need to kind of go back to Nadine Gordimer. I really liked The House Gun, but some of her other work that I've since read, My Son's Story and Burger's Daughter, I've had some difficulty with. And I do want to go back to both of those and kind of really give Gordimer another go. Although I am currently having issues with fiction, so take that desire with a mountain of salt. Omeros by Derek Walcott is a fantastic modern epic poem or poetic novel. Midak Ali by Naguib Mahfouz. Definite recommend. So yeah. So hopefully I'll remember to list these recommends down below. Okay, prompt number 5. Recommend one book from a winner. I just did that. Okay, let's go into prompt number 6. Mention 6 books from winners that you want to read. Okay, so rather than mentioning books, I'm going to mention winners I would like to read. I would like to read Wole Soyinka. I would like to read Mo Yan and Gao Xingjiang, even though I did try Soul Mountain by Gao Xingjiang, but I didn't make it too far. And I want to give that one another go. I would also like to give Orhan Pamuk another go. I don't remember what book of his I had, but I didn't quite get on with it, but I'd like to give it another go. I'd also like to read Odysseus Elatus and Olga Tokarczuk. I would definitely need to get something by her. This might be a while because he's in like the 70s. No, he's actually in the 60s, I think. I don't remember his first name. Oh yeah, Patrick Wright. I would love to read something by him. Oh, he was already all the way in the 60s. Georgios Seferis. I'd love to read something by him. I just read recently Grace Biography for Modern Nation by Roderick Beaton. And both Seferis and Elatus are mentioned. And that got me really interested in reading their works. So, and in a way, I kind of would like to have a go at all of the winners at some point. So the last book you've read from a winner probably would be Collected Poetry by Wisława Szymborska that I finished. I did intend to reread The Sound of the Mountain by Yasunari Kawabata a few months ago, and I didn't quite get on with it, and I might have another go at it at some point, but for now it's the Collected Poetry of Wisława Szymborska. Prompt number 8. A book that you want to read from a winner that was recommended to you by a booktuber. I don't remember. So I'm going to skip on this one. And prompt number 9. who do you think will win the prize this year? So the thing about the Nobel Prize in Literature is that trying to pick a winner is difficult because, for one thing, it's for an entire body of work, an oeuvre. And so trying to figure out who exactly is on the Nobel Prize, the Swedish Academy's radar, is hard to do. I mean, there are probably the same group, the same writers who are nominated every year, but who exactly they are and exactly what the Swedish Academy's up to or thinking, who knows? So it's kind of hard to pick a winner for the Nobel Prize in Literature. So you can only really maybe speak in generalities. I would think probably the winner won't be a writer who primarily writes in English, or at least wouldn't be from, like, say, the UK or America or Canada, because Louise Gluck won last year. So I don't think it'll be this similar language. But as for that, I don't know. So we'll have to wait until October to find out. So that was the Nobel Prize in Literature tag. If you would like to do this tag, consider yourselves tagged, and I will see you tomorrow with the L tag. So until then, Booktube, thank you, have a great afternoon, and stay safe.